morning, everyone. I hope you are all having a wonderful morning. And my name is Aura Owl, and I just wanted to say hello and welcome to another episode of Tall Tales. Now, before we get started, I think we should start with a little rhyme, don't you? Now, it's a little bit gray outside, so I thought we could call out for Mr. Sun. Are you ready? Can you get a nice big sun out? We're gonna sing. Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on me. Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, hiding behind the tree. These little children are asking you to please come out so they can play with you. Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on, won't you shine down on, please shine down on me. Hey, do you think the sun will come out? Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Well, I have a very exciting story to tell you today, and maybe you can guess by my Makaton sign because it is clothes. Clothes. Can you do clothes? Clothes. Very good. Well, the story is, are you ready? It's called The Emperor's New Clothes. Of course, that's it. Now, before we get going, I think we should do our little rhyme. Are you ready? So you can help me. All together we sing it. It goes up, up, up. Up in my balloon, up so high I can touch the moon. Can you point to the moon wherever it used to be? Far and wide, searching for tall tales. Open the book, let your story set sail. Alright, are you cozy? Get all snug with a little blanket, and we are going to read The Emperor's New Clothes by Hans Christian Andersen. This is another very old tale, but let's read it and have a look, huh? Many years ago, there was an emperor who was so very fond of new clothes that he spent all his money on them. Can you believe that? All of his money. He only went out when he had a chance to show off his new clothes. He had a different suit for each hour of the day. If you include sleep time, that's 24 hours. Whoa. One day, two fellows calling themselves weavers came to town. They said that they knew how to weave cloth of the most beautiful colors and patterns. The clothes made from this wonderful cloth would be invisible to everyone who was unfit for the job he held, or who was of simple character. Simple character. Wonder what that means. Oh, I think that means not very clever, not very smart. So, who would want clothes that would look invisible? Shall we find out? Okay. These must indeed be splendid clothes, thought the emperor. He gave large sums of money to both of the weavers in order for them to begin their work at once. So the two pretend weavers set up two looms. They worked very busily, though in reality they did nothing at all. They asked for the finest silks and the purest gold thread. They put both in their knapsacks. Then they pretended to work at the empty looms until late at night. I think they're just stealing. They're just pretending. I think the emperor might be a little bit silly. Let's keep reading and find out. I should like to know how the weavers are getting on with my cloth, said the emperor to himself one day, when he remembered, that someone not very clever for the job wouldn't be able to see the cloth. So to be sure, he thought he was safe. However, he would prefer sending somebody else to bring the news about the weavers and their work. All the people in the kingdom had heard of this wonderful cloth, and all were eager to learn how wise or how foolish their neighbors might be. So he thought very hard and said, I will send my faithful old wise man to the weaver, said the emperor at last. He will be best able to see how the cloth looks. He is a man of sense. No one can be better for his job than he is. So the faithful old wise man went into the hall where the thieves were working with all their might at their empty looms. What can be the meaning of this, thought the old man, opening his eyes very wide. I cannot find the least bit of thread on the looms. However, he did not say these thoughts aloud. The thieves asked him very kindly to be so good as to come nearer to the looms. Then they asked him whether the cloth pleased him. They asked whether the colors were not very beautiful. All the time they were pointing to empty frames. The poor old wise man looked and looked, but he could not see anything on the looms for a very good reason. Do you guys remember the reason? That's right, because there's nothing there. What? Thought he again. Is it possible that I am a fool? I have never thought so myself. No one must know now if I am so. Can it be that I am unfit for my job? No, the emperor must not know that either. I will never tell that I could not see the stuff. Look at that. So he's feeling, I think a little embarrassed and worried, but he's just being played a trick. Oh, can you believe that? Let's see. Well, sir, said one of the weavers, still pretending to work, you do not say whether the cloth pleases you. Oh, it is excellent, replied the old wise man, looking at the loom through his spectacles. Can you look through glasses? This pattern, and the colors, yes, I will tell the emperor without delay how very beautiful I think them. Look at that. He's fibbing. He's fibbing so he doesn't get to feel embarrassed. Well, thank you very much, said the thieves. And then the thieves asked for more silk and gold, saying that it was necessary to complete what they had begun. Once again, they put all that was given to them into their knapsacks. They went on working with as much effort as before at their empty looms. Oh, they're really putting in effort for this trick. They really want to steal so much stuff from the emperor. Well, the emperor soon sent another man from his court to see how the weavers were getting on. Now he wanted to know if the cloth would soon be ready. It was just the same with this new gentleman as the wise man. And the whole city was talking of the splendid cloth which the emperor had ordered to be woven. And finally, the emperor himself wished to see the costly material while it was still in the loom. He took many officers of the court and the two honest men who had already admired the cloth. As soon as the weavers saw the emperor approach, they went on working faster and faster as they ever had, although they still did not pass even one thread through the looms. Oh, they're very good actors, aren't they? Is not this work magnificent? Said the two officers of the crown. If your majesty will only be pleased to look at it, what a splendid design! What glorious colors! And at the same time they pointed to the empty frames, for they imagined that everyone else could see this beautiful piece of cloth. Oh, look at that. Everyone is lying. How is it, said the emperor to himself, I can see nothing. This is indeed a terrible affair. Am I a fool? How can I be fit to be an emperor? Oh, no, that would be the worst thing that could happen. What do you think he's going to do? Do you think he's going to tell the truth? Or do you think he's going to fib like everyone else? I wonder. Shall we go on and find out? Okay, let's do it. Let's see. Well, this is what he said. Oh, the cloth is charming, said he aloud. I approve of it completely. He smiled most graciously and looked closely at the empty looms. No way would he say that he could not see what two of his advisors had praised so much. Everyone with the emperor now strained his or her eyes, hoping to discover something on the looms, but they could see no more than the others. Nevertheless, they explained, oh, how beautiful, and advised his majesty about how beautiful, magnificent, charming, and excellent all the material was. Everyone was very cheerful, and the emperor was pleased. He presented the weavers with an emblem of an order of knighthood, and the thieves sat up the whole of the night before the day on which the parade was to take place. They had 16 lights burning so that everyone might see how anxious they were to finish the emperor's new suit, and they pretended to roll the cloth off the looms. They cut the air with the scissors and sewed with needles without any thread in them. Can we do some cutting? Snip, 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 and do some sewing. Look at that, with nothing. See, cried they at last, The emperor's new clothes are ready. Can you guys make a little horn? Be like, do 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 do. They are ready. How splendid His Majesty looks in his new clothes, and how well they will fit, everyone cried. What a design! What colors! These are indeed royal robes. I am quite ready, said the emperor. He appeared to be examining his handsome suit. The lords of the bedchamber, who were to carry His Majesty's train, felt about on the ground as if they were lifting up the ends of a mantle. Then they pretended to be carrying something, for they would, because they did not want to appear foolish or not fit for their jobs. So they're carrying the train of the emperor's gown, but there's nothing there. They're just holding air. Everybody in the story is fibbing. The emperor walked under his high canopy in the midst of the procession through the streets of his capital. All the people standing by and those at the window cried out, "Oh, how beautiful are the emperor's new clothes! What a magnificent train! And how graceful the scarf hangs!" No one would admit these much admired clothes could not be seen, because in doing so they would be saying that they were a fool and unfit for their job. But the emperor has nothing at all on, said a little child. Listen to the voice of this child, exclaimed the father. What the child has said was whispered from one to another. But he has nothing on at all. At last, cried out the people. The emperor was upset, for he knew that the people were right. However, he thought the parade must go on. The lords of the bedchamber took greater pains than ever to appear holding up the train, although in reality there was no train to hold, and the emperor just walked out in his underwear. And that is the end of our story. What a silly one that was, wasn't it? Just goes to show sometimes you just have to be honest. Look, the emperor almost had a whole kingdom lying for him. I can't believe that story. It kind of makes me think it's time for us to make our very own story. And right here I have a few objects, and we are going to make a story about. So I'm going to pull one out at a time, and we are going to create a story together and see where that tale takes us. Are you ready? Here we go. How do we start a story? What do we say? Once upon a key lime pie. No. Once upon, I'm not sure. What could it be? What was that? That's it. Once upon a time. Okay. So once upon a time, a long time ago, there was once upon a time, a long time ago, there was a very magical egg, and it was all the colors of a rainbow. And one dark and stormy night, it started to rattle. It started to rattle and grow up into the sky until it cracked right open. And from out of that egg came a little magic dog. Have you ever heard of a dog coming out of an egg? Me neither, but this one was a really special dog. That's right. Now this little dog had a very special power. It could fly all over the sky and go from one place to the other in snap of your fingers that quick. So it could be currently where we are in Liverpool and then go all the way to Africa or all the way to Argentina just in a snap of the fingers. So that is a very special doggy born out of egg. Well, one day he decided he really wanted to go play on the beach. He really wanted to get some sun because he was tired by all the gray clouds, and he snapped his fingers so he could fly, and he didn't move. Something was wrong. He had lost his powers. What's he gonna do? We'll find out. So let's see what he did. A teacup. He decided he needed to go to a well that had all of the magic in the world. This well collected all of the rain droplets that are full of magic, and he needed to go there to replenish his powers. So since he couldn't fly anymore, he had to journey far and wide to this mysterious place. But the problem was he didn't know how to get there. So we know where he has to go. How is he going to get there? Let's find out. So he decided to venture to, here we go, see a very special tiger. That's right, this very old and ancient tiger who lived at the very bottom of the mountains in a tiny cave. He lived there, and our little friend, did we give him a name? What's his name? What should we call him? Let's call him Frederick. Okay, Frederick had to travel all the way to meet this very old and very wise tiger and see if he would help him. So he traveled through day and night by foot, and he's used to flying, so that was very, very hard. He barely stopped to even eat his supper, and he would go up hills, and he even had to swim through lakes, and finally he got to the edge of the mountain, very, very, very tired. Can you just big pant? Very, very tired. And there he knocked on the cave door, because that's very polite, isn't it? So can you do a big knock? Knocked on the door, and out came our very ancient and old and wise tiger. And he said, "Who goes there?" And our little doggy said, "It's me, Frederick, the magic dog, and I've lost my powers." But of course, the tiger knew this. He said, "I've been expecting you. Please come in." So the tiger walked in, Frederick walked in, and he was just about to tell him what had gone wrong when the tiger simply presented him with a very, very special amulet. And he said, "If you wear this amulet, you will know where the well is, and you can replenish your powers." All right, so do you think he's going to take it? I think so. It's really nice. Very nice little tiger to help him out so easily. So he passes him the amulet. The tiger goes back into his cave, into a deep slumber, and our magic frog decides, our magic dog, Frederick, has to go and listen to where the amulet takes him. So he closes his eyes, and right away the amulet sends him a vision, takes him to this place where our well is, and it happens to be very, very, very close to the cave of our very old and ancient and wise tiger. Very sensible, isn't that? So he continues on his journey until he hears some water. Can you guys do a nice big waterfall? Shh. So there's a little waterfall, and right there at the bottom is a very deep and beautiful well full of lots of magic colors, just like the colors from his egg. And he goes in deep and gets a little cup and scoops up some water, just a little bit, because the thing with magic animals is they're never greedy. And then he has a little sip, just like that. And he feels a little bit of a tingle go through his body. Can you guys do a little wiggle? And then I think Frederick feels like he has rejuvenated all of his powers and is so happy that he decides to try and snap his fingers to get to that beautiful beach. What beach should he go to? Should he go to, what's that? Oh, just any sunny beach. Okay, so he's going to snap his fingers. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And there he was, right on the sandy beach. And then and there, that's when he decided, I wonder why I lost my powers. And he thought, perhaps it's because I wasn't using them to be very helpful to others. He was just basically going on vacation all the time, wasn't he? I wonder what could he do with that special power to help people. Oh, what's that? Oh, that's right. Maybe he could travel with another person and take them to somewhere they needed to go if they were running late, or if they had an emergency, or maybe if he wanted to even just share a vacation with somebody. Wouldn't that be lovely? And that is how our magic dog, Frederick, spent his days. Can everybody say the end with me together? Ready? 1, 2, 3. The end. Oh, well done. Thank you so much for sitting for another episode of Tall Tales, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.